It'd be really funny if Don listened to this and I'm doing when he goes to edit, and I'm just sitting here doing like voice exercises to get warmed up for the podcast. That would be funny. All right, here he is. Come on, Jimmy, you could come on video. It's okay. There you go.
There we go. There we go. How's it going, man?
I was on for about 5 minutes, so that might be really funny when you watch it. Me just
5 minutes.
well, four. I got on at 7:46 as instructed.
As per your instructions. And
You're, I said 7:45. You said 7:46.
true. That was
Yeah.
okay. Yeah. Man, so literal. What's up, buddy?
Oh, it's been crazy. How about you? I had a
All
long
right.
week. Long weekend was nice.
How so?
Monday was President's Day, so it's a holiday for me at work.
Okay.
So I
Interesting because I have found that there is Saturdays and Sundays that are not off days for you. You've
it
you
is it is true. So
maybe there's situationally like things that happen, but
they sell it that, as a salaried employee, you don't have to work, you don't have to measure your hours, which is not true. We have to book our hours to projects because it's activity-based costing. And then salary just means more than 40 hours. That's all it means. And it doesn't cost them anything. That's
yeah. Bump bump bump.
fun. I get a lot of vacation, so it's okay.
Yeah. All right. All right.
How was your week?
That was pretty good. Yeah, it's pretty good. It's good to be here with you and getting ready to talk to one Cathy Weisberg Sweeney and
Yes. I've got some
but
I've got some
hang on.
apologizing to do to her.
All right. Uh and
This is
so
going to be an embarrassing night, I can tell.
no, not for you, man. You're gonna be proud of this.
Yeah, yeah, I don't know about that. Oh,
Uh, you've written about it. Trust me, this is
okay.
not, I'm not trapping you in any way. This is good stuff. Uh,
So,
except here I am
yeah,
talking to you on my laptop, and where I have the magic video is on the desktop, so I need to send that from that to you.
we'll make it happen. You
Yeah.
want to start sending it? Because I can talk while you're doing that.
Um,
Are we doing it this episode?
why not?
Take us all with you. We'll all get up and go over there.
Well, that means I have to carry this thing. Hold on.
I mean, how heavy is your laptop?
It's okay. All right, hang on.
All right. Hey, everyone. There's Don hard at work. Oh, it's too good. Are we emailing this?
Yes.
All right. So you can hear me, I can hear you. Let's just keep going while you're doing that.
All right.
All right. So I sent you what I wrote for writing club this week.
Oh, dude, that is like the
I
next
want
next movie.
I want to explain it to you though. It was so a good friend of mine goes to writers club with me. She lives across the
Okay.
street, Lorraine, and you know
Sweet Lorraine.
she's not comfortable necessarily reading out loud to 15 people what she wrote. And I keep encouraging her, what you wrote is great. You need to read it, right?
Okay.
But it's not her comfort zone, and that's fine. That's fine. That's not her comfort zone. So when we got the instructions or the prompt for this week, it just struck me, you know what? I'm going to do something to try to understand how Lorraine feels and do it out of my comfort zone. So I did,
All right.
which I'm not a sci-fi writer, but I decided to write a sci-fi short story to answer the instructions or the prompt for this week. So you said it was you could It was okay. Because
It's always better than okay.
I'm gonna read that to 15 or 20 people on Thursday.
Dude, that was crazy.
It was different. So Lori, I read it to Lori. She's not a sci-fi person at all.
I'm not either, but it was crazy. Like, especially the end. Like, hold on.
Well, it's definitely out of my comfort zone. So at least I accomplished that mission. It'll be interesting to get feedback from. I mean, I got feedback from one writer. You've actually written two books, so I, I have to get the I have to get these other folks here that I go to writing club with to get their response, their reaction. But
Did you get the email there? All right, I'm coming back.
all right, come on back over. Everybody's
Coming back to the hot seat.
come on back. Oh, I see from the title.
Let's see right now, but you can't open it yet. Don't open it yet.
I didn't play it yet.
Okay, but you see the title.
It'll be ready to go. I did see
Right. Oh, all right, all right.
the.
Well,
All right, set
that
it
was
up.
behind the scenes stuff right there.
Set it up. What are we looking at?
Well, you saw the title, but I listen. We're in season 2. Uh, I could have thrown this at you early in season 1. This is you wrote about this, okay? This is
Yeah.
us. We had done all this crazy stuff at Camp of the Woods. We go to Houghton, and we hear that some folks are gathering at some bridge.
For
And
me, this happened before Camp of the Woods. I had never been to the Camp of the Woods before this video.
more insight.
Yeah.
All right. Then we do this, and my cousin Bob Van Wicklen, who he would have been a headliner on this, and he still will be, but I have not brought him on yet. But he was only like we were what, like 19, so he might have been 16,
Yeah.
and we brought him up there with us. And
His dad was a professor. He lived there.
exactly,
Yeah.
Lamp Barb. Yeah, oh, good stuff.
Yeah.
So you want to just jump right into it? You want to play it? And
Let's do this.
all right.
I can't wait to see this. I know I've seen this at one point, but
You've seen some of it, but
okay.
this is all of it.
Let's get there. This is so amazing. All right. It is
All
titled
right. So this is from camp. I guess that's me
Bridge
driving a boat.
Jumping MP4. All right, we're gonna do this. Is there sound? I don't think there's sound, is there?
No, no sound.
Okay.
There would have been big splashes though.
Is that Johnny?
That's me actually.
That was you with some long hair. Here we are on the bridge. Who are those crazy idiots up there? Whoa! Whoa! If anyone's curious, we measured. That is 60 feet. That's a 60-foot drop from where we're standing or sitting.
Okay. And
Now,
I
you
hate
notice where I pause this? Because
you're
I
leaning into
want
that, man.
well, I want to point out to everybody there's a difference of opinion what the word jump means to different people. Okay? So we're 60 feet in the air. We've never jumped off before. Well, this by the time you videoed it, maybe we had. But the first time, this looks like the first time. First time we jumped off, we're just up there and we're like, okay, now we're going to count to 3 and then we're going to jump. And when I'm thinking jump at 60 feet, I'm thinking, you know what? 60 feet is high enough. I don't need to add elevation. I'm just going to step off. That's a jump. No. Mr. Purdy says 60 feet. How much higher can we jump from? Look at you. You're like setting up to do a two-handed dunk from under the basket to get just maybe 3 or 4 more feet of height. The 60's not enough.
I don't know, man. You're leaning into that. You're like just gonna.
I'm
You're not
I'm like,
talking up.
what am I doing here? We did say the alphabet all the way to O before we landed,
Yeah.
but yeah, that's kind of the difference between our personalities. I was
No,
willing to do this.
there's not much difference there, buddy. Like there, we're
Okay,
really high up there.
look at you. You're doing Superfly. Like, ah! That's absolutely amazing. Oh,
Yeah. So I'll never. That was early September. We get to Houghton, we hear about this bridge, and like, yeah,
yeah.
let's do it. And so those rocks were really slimy.
Hey, that's my cousin Louie.
Now here's my cousin Bob,
There's Bob. Okay.
3 years younger than us,
Oh yeah. Okay.
and
He is a stud. Yeah, look at you. Oh, you almost didn't pull that out. Yeah, okay. Bob jumps like me. He just kind of steps off and lets it.
listen, jumping from that height is crazy. No, he does the bravest thing ever. He just put water in his mouth and spit it up.
Out of the Genesee River? Yeah. That's yeah, let's just fall off basically.
No,
Uh,
there's no shame. That was a really high, like
uh, felt like your head was getting ripped off, didn't it?
it did.
Yeah.
Nope.
Oh, showing some leg and taking the moonshot.
Oh, there we go.
Okay. That's absolutely amazing, Don.
Yeah. Also, I love the fact that we threw that in front of you, and
Sometime we'll have to show that and read what I wrote just because
we have to.
that's
Yes.
definitely part of my life story, that whole experience.
I need to extend. Well, again, like we videoed that little time. We did that much more. So, uh, yeah, we
Yeah.
didn't video the other dozens of times we did that. So,
Hey, we have our guest in the lobby.
is she?
Yeah. We ready?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this. This is gonna be fun. Here we go.
Can't wait to your story.
Oh man. Left.
Bottom left for video.
Yep.
Talking to me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So wait a minute. All right. So what am I looking for?
On the bottom.
Start video?
Yeah.
Yeah. Video. Yeah. Probably a little camera.
Oh, wait a minute. I
Look,
just
yeah,
had
that's all. Real quick.
Okay.
Hey.
There I am. There I am. Let me see if I can get better look. Okay. I
Here
guess
we
that's
are.
right.
It's perfectly right. There
Okay.
you go.
Awesome.
I don't zoom very much.
Well, you're zooming now. Here we go.
Okay.
Okay.
Am I
Hey,
on?
Cathy.
Yeah, am I
great.
on?
Fully on. Yep.
Oh, geez. Okay. I gotta scratch my nose. Hold on.
Oh,
Okay, I'm ready. I'm ready.
Oh no, I don't have any water in here. I'm gonna have to go get water at some point.
yeah. Our people in the green room didn't take care of it.
I might text, phone a friend. Cathy, it's so good to see you.
I know. I was just trying to think how long it's been. I think it's been like 36 years, I think.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Wow. Usually
Doesn't
Tom
that-
does the math on that, and he's like, yeah. So
Doesn't that just blow your mind?
It's weird because it doesn't seem like it's been that much time at all.
No, it doesn't. I mean, you
Because
might,
we're not that old.
no,
not at
we're
all.
not at all. That's right. So, Cathy, where are we calling you from?
Melbourne, Florida.
Melbourne, Florida.
Yeah. In fact, Donnie's very well aware of where I live.
Yeah.
I am. And I've got
You're very
some
well aware. I got a
big
funny
thank
story.
yous. Yeah.
I got a
Okay,
funny story how I ended up here.
let's go with it right away.
Let's hear
Okay.
it.
Okay, it's thanks to Camp of the Woods.
Oh,
So
All
my
right.
husband at the time retired from the military. We were up in Massachusetts and he wanted to retire somewhere warm. And I was like, he wanted to go to Hawaii. I thought that was too far. So how about Florida? My parents were snowbirds down here. And we were looking at Fort Lauderdale and everything because I spent so much summers there and it was not the same. So I'm like, where are we going to go? So I thought of Walt Maloon, Ski Nautique, right? And I thought of Grandpa Purdy, Gordon, always talking about Melbourne. So my parents came over here. They checked Melbourne out for us. I moved down here without even coming here beforehand. My parents pretty much We told them where we wanted to build. We got the house built. We drove down here from Massachusetts with 2 cars, 2 cats, and a 2-year-old for the adventure of our lifetime. Like I said, never stepped foot in Melbourne. Been to the Space Center, which is up the road. So we ended up here, and what is that, 2001, and I've been here ever since. And actually, one of the first jobs I ever got here, I actually took care of, I'm a nurse, I actually took care of Donnie's grandmother. She was one of my first patients.
Oh my gosh.
Isn't that like the strangest thing?
Right? It is. Listen, I've got,
You know that, Don?
I totally meant to come back to you on this, and you got right into that. So,
right?
Yeah, my grandmother. So 2001, the balloon, all this is like, yeah, synchronicity. Like, so your parents came down to Florida.
Yeah, they've been snowbirds down here for a long time. They were south of me in Vero Beach. It's down by Fort Pierce.
Yeah.
Right. So they were snowbirds for the longest time. And but we spent minutes going to Fort Lauderdale because that's my grandma used to live. So we really didn't want to live in Vero Beach because it's kind of like, a lot of 55 plus communities, although we're part of that 55 plus now. And I know, right? And so we figured we need to be near the Air Force Base, which was good, but never been to Melbourne. And Walt Malone was the first person and Ski Nautique to cross my mind about Melbourne, Florida.
Oh,
and then Grandpa, and then Gordon. Right? Does Tom even know Walt Malone?
Do I know?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
he spent
Walt,
some
right?
time in his place. Yeah,
I've stayed at his house.
So I couldn't remember how many years you were on staff, Tom. I was trying to remember.
We'll figure that out. Yeah. So
okay.
It was Patrick Air Force Base.
Yeah, we don't live too far from Patrick. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's an impressive stretch of you go up A1A.
A1A.
Yep. So when we go from Satellite Beach or Indy Atlantic, we go up to Cocoa Beach, and it's on the left.
Yep, sure is.
Yep. And so where do you live in relation to that? So.
Okay, so I'm in Melbourne. I am. They call it the O'Galley area. You know where?
Oh yeah.
You guys go there a lot.
Once a year.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
I can't even think of the place because I've been there so much. It's not Grills. It's the other place that you guys go to the restaurant a lot there.
One of those lips places.
Yeah, Squid Lips. Gosh, no, I lived here for 24 years. I'm trying to think, what is the frick is the name of that place that I pass every day? Yeah, I'm not right. I'm not too far. I'm not too far from there.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, we're going to be on record now. We have to get together in person there. So
yes, we have to.
Other time. So yeah. So Tom, Cathy was talking about the Maloons, and in the last episode we were talking about with the Gators and.
Oh yeah, I have a great story. Have you seen any of our podcasts, Cathy?
I honestly, I really hadn't until you guys asked me to join, and then I started binge watching them. I just binge watched every single one of them.
Oh no! Oh, no!
It's okay. Yeah, it's not a pop quiz. Yeah.
I know. I feel like I was back in college. I have to study again.
Not quite.
Yeah. But I was thinking of Cathy. You were talking about running like half marathons and some messages that we had, and that's crazy. And my cousin Doug does bike rides there, and talk about gators. Like you could encounter a gator, on your run, or we had that one experience, and you have it almost daily.
I have it daily. In fact, I've taken up. I've spoken to Amy a couple of times about hiking. I've taken up hiking.
Yeah, that's right.
Ever since COVID, and there's not a trail that doesn't have at least a couple of gators on them. Especially during mating season, it's always fun, and that seems to be when I go hiking. Yeah, we see a lot of gators. People, make fun of people who hike in Florida because it's not the mountains and everything. But all these people like living in Colorado and New York, you all go hiking.
I would never do that.
Huh? You guys, huh?
I lived in Colorado for 10 years, so I would never make fun of hiking in Florida.
Right, because we you guys may see buffalo, but we see gators. We see wild hog, stuff that you wouldn't even think about.
That's different. Hiking's pretty fun anywhere.
It is.
But
But
you're doing day hiking, backpacking, overnight, car camping. What are you doing?
I haven't done the backpacking yet. I've been on one night hike here, but
Okay.
it's the gator factor that keeps me away at night. You know?
Or the
So it's
Panthers.
mostly day. It's mostly day hiking. But the last hike I went on was probably, I think I did like 11 and a half miles. Just over to see the manatees over at Blue Spring State Park.
Jeez. Just 11 and a half miles. That's
Yeah,
a
7 and a half
marathon.
miles.
There's your
Yeah.
half marathon right there.
All to see a manatee. You know,
That's
just
awesome.
Florida living at its finest.
I saw a manatee outside of Squid Lips, and all I had to do was get a $20 fish fry and look right out there. There's one right there.
Yeah.
This is awesome.
I know, it's fun. Time should come around this area. We gotta take them to Bizarro's Pizza too.
So Bizarros, love it. Yep, they're like New Jersey guys, right?
Yeah,
I do go to
pretty.
Florida quite a bit. I go to Florida because both my brothers lived there, my parents lived there, and my son lives in Tampa now.
Oh, okay. I've been to Tampa quite a few times.
Yeah, so we
Tom, your brothers live where? I didn't know that.
my older brother Don lives in DeLand.
Okay.
Oh, that's where I just was at Blue String State Park.
Okay.
That was up in DeLand.
Okay.
Yeah.
And my younger brother lives in Eustis.
Oh, okay. I know Eustis. Yeah, I go up that way sometimes because I don't think I told you guys for work. I'm a nurse at a local county jail here, but I also do part-time work at the prison up in Daytona, which is up that way.
Okay. Yeah.
And so I get my Buc-ee's fill when I go up there.
You get your what, Phil?
Buc-ee's. They got the Buc-ee's there.
What
Have you heard of Buc-ee's? You haven't heard
No.
of Buc-ee's? Donnie, did you ever hear of Buc-ee's?
I'm trying, but I don't
You
know.
guys have never heard of Buc-ee's?
I'm gonna
Oh
look
my
it up,
goodness.
Cathy. What is it?
We're about
Okay,
to.
it is, right? It's from Texas originally. It is this gas station, you know, like say you're on the highway and you want to stop off to get gas and a couple of snacks, right? Well, this place is as big as a department store.
BUC-EE?
Bucees. Ask your brother who lives in DeLand. I'm sure he's been. Oh my
Okay.
goodness.
Is that a
They have
5-4 DeLand?
they have 150 gas pumps. Yes, it's a store. I mean, it's the perfect, like kids go birthday parties there. Like they sell grills.
Let's go to the gas station for a party?
No,
That
they
seems really
make
weird.
their own beef jerky on site. I can't. Oh, it is the best thing ever.
I'm
It's like
missing out.
Disney World.
Buc-ee's. I'm-
Buc-ee's.
next
I'm
time
gonna
I'm
talk
in
it.
Florida, I'm totally all over this.
I'm gonna
Oh,
talk
yeah.
to my brothers about this for sure.
You've got
So
it. I
in
thought everyone knew about
Pennsylvania-
Buc-ee's.
In Pennsylvania,
Wawa.
Sheets, Wawa. They have Wawa. I was just.
Oh, we have Wawas everywhere here.
Yeah. In Pennsylvania, it's Sheets, right?
We have Sheets here.
Okay, so I haven't heard of Sheets,
Okay.
but I don't think it's as big as Buc-ee's. So.
Probably not. No. All right.
Oh yeah,
That's
you guys
interesting.
you have to go. They're famous for like the pulled pork and everything. Oh, it's awesome. Oh, it's great. Yeah, and it's the type of place too. Like
That's
say you're
so good.
traveling and you forgot to get a Christmas gift, you can go in there and get gifts. You know, they have everything you can think of. I know.
That's so cool. Slides here. Now that we know you have seen the show, you've seen the segment we call On the Spot, correct?
Yes.
This is your turn to be on the spot. But before
Okay.
well, we're gonna do a couple questions, then I'll interrupt with my own question for you. But you've also seen that there's gonna be 10 questions or so on here. Choose one or
Right.
more. The more you choose, the happier Don's mom is.
Okay.
So I told my mom we were having Cathy on, and she had a couple of awesome memories that I'm going to bring up here.
I can't wait.
Oh, yeah, they're special. It's going to make you cry. It made me cry.
I think I know one of them, but
You're gonna make us
I'll
cry?
wait and see if it's on the list. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so take a look here. We'll let you answer a couple. Then I need to ask you a question as well.
Okay. We can start with describe how and why you decided to work at camp.
Yeah.
You're
So-
your brother Tom as well, right?
Yeah, well, we've always had a house up there. I don't know if you remember. So we always had a summer home or a winter home up. It was next to Cedarhurst for the longest time. And then my parents got that big log cabin built off of Fish Mountain Road, which I don't know if you're familiar, Donnie, with Dick
Oh yeah.
Newell. We lived down by there, and one of the O'Rourke's. We were down that way. So anyway, so Tom got a job there one summer, and I guess he didn't say a word about me. Like no one even knew I existed until I think he spoke to your mom one time, and she wanted to meet me. And I actually started working in wintertime before I started working summertime there. My first time working at camp was in the winter.
What year? What year would that have been?
That had to have been either 84 or 85. I was there with Tracy and Julie Hosley.
Huh.
Yeah,
Okay.
so my first summer, I think at camp was 85. So it must have been the winter of 84 going into 85. Yeah,
Okay.
it was that long ago.
So, but if it was a summer home, you were you happened to be there in the winter?
We also went in the winter to go skiing because my parents, I guess, even before I was born, they had been going up there for years. They used to stay at the with my two sisters. They would stay at the Gables, and they just happened to find Oak Mountain. I guess they were going to go skiing up in Gore at Northville one time. It wasn't snow, so my dad kept on driving up north, and they found this place called Oak Mountain. So we used to get that corner unit at the Gables motel all the time until my parents got that house. So we come up every winter time because we lived on Long Island, so like 5 hours away. We come every winter over Christmas break, over President's break, and then the whole summer we would stay.
So that's where Long Island, that's Rockville Center?
That's Rockville Center, yeah.
Okay. Okay, because I was looking at Don sent me the camp directories from 1986 and 1988, and that's what your address was then, Jackson Avenue. Okay.
Yeah, Rockville Center.
So,
I was at camp
Kathy,
85, 86, 87, 88, and 89.
Right in our sweet spot there. That's exactly when we were there. Yeah. So your dad and mom, so your dad had a place up there, so they lived.
So what happened was that they found Speculator on accident, and so they started renting that corner unit at the Gables Motel. And then my parents bought that big white house next to the Cedarhurst.
Yeah.
So we used to live in there for the longest time until they got the log cabin built. I think they eventually sold that white house to Mr. Kukin. So I think he owns it now.
Okay, it makes sense. I know he owns Cedarhurst, and my good friend Ron is.
Ron's
I wouldn't know what else he owned, next to it, but interesting.
Well, Don, Ron's dad is a property owner. He owns and rents properties.
He owns Cedarhurst Motor Lodge. Yeah, so it's one of the hotels right there in Speculator. Or motels. Yeah, right there. And
I remember when they first bought that place, there was that German couple that used to own it beforehand. Yeah, because my parents were friends with them since they were next door. So I remember when they all first came.
That's so interesting because, I remember when Ron came up to Speculator and, joined us at school, but I had no idea. He came from Wayne, New Jersey.
Right, Wayne, New Jersey. Yep. Yeah.
All over that.
It's a totally different perspective than.
I know, because I've been coming up there, gosh, almost my whole entire life to Speculator. Yeah.
Yeah, but most people who end up at camp, it's because they knew somebody at college, were recruited at college, or they went there their whole life with their family,
right.
Or their church was associated somehow with camp, right? So that's a totally different perspective, Kathy. That's super interesting.
Yeah, I was a part-time townie.
Part-time townie. Love it. I love it. Okay. And I know you worked housekeeping in, what year was this?
Yes, I did. First job was a counter girl.
Okay. And
then I did housekeeping for, let's see, counter girl 1 year, so 3 years housekeeping. Then my last year, I was a Woodlands waitress with Amy. Amy and I were waitresses together our last year.
That was 88. That was her one and only. Yep, that was her one and only year working on staff. And she not only worked with you, she lived with you.
Right, she lived with me, and Lori lived with me. And I had to think of the other girl's name. I finally remembered it today. It was Ardith.
My Lori?
Yeah, I lived with your Lori, Amy, and this girl named Ardith.
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 Ardith. She was
Ardith Murray?
She was the manager, I guess that's what you call it, of the Hill, the dining room.
Yes.
Yeah,
What was her name, John? Ardith.
Took me a while to remember her name.
What was her last name?
I think
don't
it was
remember.
Murray. Murray.
She didn't live too far from Speculator. I do remember that. She was kind of local, like an hour away. That's all I really remember.
I see an Elizabeth Murray.
Yeah.
I'm soaking up those staff directories.
I am. These directories, I've been pouring over them all day. I should have been working. I was looking at the directories.
And of course, Tom, you're right. We don't have 87, so we didn't have Beth Dodds. Like, how? Of course, she's that elusive.
We're trying to find Beth Dodds, and we're having a hard time. So.
Our 87 boat crew, she was the one lady that was on it, and
yeah, she had the red hair.
Kind of red, like strawberry blonde.
I'm thinking of Linda Dykstra.
Dykstra, yeah, not Linda Dykstra. So before you do question 3, here, and I'm gonna stop sharing because we need full attention for this. What? It's so funny. Ironically, this is a story I have shared with quite a few people, and I'm gonna just start with an apology, and we can, if we need to, Cathy, we can edit this out.
Okay.
But I have a memory with you that I'm thinking maybe PTSD has caused you to block it out in your memory, but maybe you do remember this incident. But I wanted to ask your forgiveness on this. Probably 38 years later. I think this probably was the first time it was up there. And so, 86.
Yeah, there we go.
This is 86, and this is Juvenile Tom. And I'm so sorry. First, let me just say, I'm so
okay.
Do you remember being in the dining hall?
I bet you does.
Yeah. Do you remember the phrase "gag me with a spoon"?
I do.
Okay. And like sign language for "gag me with a spoon" was right?
Right.
Okay. Set that up. Now, we're in the dining hall. I've got a mouthful of mashed potatoes. And for some reason, I thought I needed to show you that I had a mouthful of mashed potatoes. So I opened my mouth and showed you, you're a table or two away, the mashed potatoes.
Table or two?
What's that? A table or two away. You weren't at my table because I had to get up. So I showed. Is this ringing a bell at all?
It is starting to ring a bell.
Oh no!
As soon as you said a table or two away, I was like, yes, it's starting to.
At that moment, you thought it was appropriate to give me the "gag me with a spoon" language. I knew exactly what you meant, but I took it to mean you wanted some of my mashed potatoes. So I got up. I walked over to your table. I grabbed your face. I put my face on your face and gave you some mashed potatoes. I'm so sorry. I am so sorry. Oh. Oh.
I think I did block it out.
I would have too.
Could you find it in your heart to forgive me, please?
You're on the record.
Well, I'll think about it.
It's been 38 years. This is a long time waiting to apologize to you.
You've suffered enough. I forgive you.
Right. Thank you. Thank you so much.
As soon as you said 2 tables away, I remembered exactly.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know why, but that happened.
Tom, you've been talking about since we've been doing this podcast. We have to have Cathy Weisberg Sweeney on this, and when we do, I have a story. You gave me like part of the story, but never until tonight I hear the
Did you
full.
realize how bad it really was?
Yeah, now I realize why you had to
Oh,
get
Kathy, Kathy,
that.
Kathy. Oh my God.
Oh my goodness.
Mm.
Oh,
All right.
wow.
Okay.
I needed
Whew.
that.
Sorry to bring that up again.
No, no, no. I mean, it was just all part of being at camp.
That's very generous. So, what story from your time at camp have you repeated? Not that one, I'm sure.
No, no.
Tried to block that one out. I wouldn't
Oh
blame
my
her.
gosh.
Oh my God, that was so funny. It's not really a story that I repeat. I think it's just like the fun times, that we had. Like people don't understand what it meant, our trips to Lake George,
Oh yeah.
every time that we went, or people don't understand. I've never had a better sticky bun, unless you've been
Mm-mm.
at camp, you know.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, right. And so unless you work there, you're not going to understand that kind of stuff, or the significance of Christmas in August. That was always good.
Yep.
But there is one thing that I do bring up. Like I love music and I love going to concerts and stuff. And I've always been fascinated with the drums.
Woo.
Do you remember those drums when they had the bands? It was Craig and who else? And when they would do the drum solos at
Craig
camp during the
Zinserling?
concerts, Craig Zinserling, and who was the other one? Was it Dan? He had blonde hair. He was the other drummer. Wasn't there two
So
drummers?
before Craig Zinserling was John Hagedorn. Does that sound right? That could be way
No,
before us.
that's probably way before us. But I
Okay.
remember the drum solos, and
Yeah.
it was Craig and those drums of the concert. And every time I hear "In the Air Tonight," I still remember those drum solos.
Oh, wow. All right.
Craig
I
Zinserling's
know.
a Craig Zinserling's a childhood friend of mine. We went to church when we were like in elementary school, and our parents were good friends.
Oh
Oh,
my
I
gosh.
didn't know that. Okay.
And I had forgotten he worked at camp until I saw the directory today.
Tom, here you go again. You're not going to believe this, but you keep coming up with these references that you have to people that were at camp, but you didn't know necessarily, like with Punk, Steve Vance, and some others, that they were going to be connections at camp. But about a month ago, I got an email from or a text from my friend Rob Mitchell from Syracuse, and he's like, "Hey, I'm going to lunch tomorrow with Craig Zinserling,
Get out.
Oh,
and we're
wow.
talking about camp." Yeah,
That's wild.
I cannot. Yeah, I will bring it up, but and he wants to connect with you, and I think,
Craig does?
well, yeah, he
That's cool. Yeah, I
yeah,
got it.
he wants to. He is still friends with Rob Mitchell, and he would love to reconnect. So I think this might be the perfect platform, especially given
Yeah,
your and Cathy's previous connections with him. That's awesome.
that's very cool. Let's put
Yeah,
him on the list.
do it. It's your list.
It is my list. I'm going to put him on the list.
Yeah, put that right on there. Yeah. So,
Oh, you know what? I do remember there is one story that I do.
Here we go.
Okay. So, I don't remember Petticoat Junction, in Girls Park.
yeah.
It's a cabin that we used to live in, and it was a dump. It was terrible. But it was fun. It was 7 of us that lived in there, and there was this flying squirrel that was in there. And of course, I'm in the top bunk, and it landed in bed with me. Well, we're screaming, and Boo, Beth Markel and Lynn were in the cabin right next to us, right? So we're running over, and Beth Markel comes running over with a laundry basket on her head and a fishnet.
To catch it.
Capturing this flying monster that we called it back then,
That's
and
amazing.
catching it for us. Oh my God, I still have my memories of her coming, a laundry basket over her head and a fishnet to catch that flying squirrel. It was in the middle of the night because, of course, 7 of us are screaming like crazy. But Boo was so funny. She kept us laughing probably all summer.
Well, yeah. I mean, how could you sleep peacefully knowing that
Yeah.
thing
No,
was
you can't. I mean, I
no?
don't know. And then, that same summer, I mean, that cabin, because that old girls park, I only times I wake up there was a mouse in my shoe. You know, so always had to check your shoes before you put them on because there were mice. You know,
That's hilarious.
yeah. You never knew what you were going to see, but
Better than gators.
at least years later, though, when they redid Girls Park, the cabin was a lot nicer.
Tommy, you probably painted that with your chocolate pudding government whatever issued
No
paint.
doubt. No doubt.
I think we all painted that when we did preseason, didn't we? I think we all
There you
painted
go.
those
Oh, yeah.
cabins.
Yes.
So preseason, yeah, you lived with like the one summer Amy was there. You were
We were in the I did 2 seasons. I did one with her. We were in the salt box there. Is that even there
okay.
anymore? I haven't been up that way in a long time.
Is the salt box still there? I don't know. Good question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When's the last time you were up there, Cathy?
I have not been up that way since about 2004.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah. It's been a while. It's been a
I
long
don't think
time.
I've been up. I haven't been up there since like 89 or 90.
Yeah.
It's been a long
Oh,
time.
it's been a while for you too then. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Hope to fix that.
So I remember Amy when she came up, it was 88 was her first time. And she came from Rochester, and I don't know like how I tried to prepare her for it, but she came up for the preseason, was going to be up there over the summer and to live with you, Cathy, and work with you and work in the dining room in Woodlands. But she was unprepared for how cold it was still
Yes.
in the preseason, and she's like,
Very
"Oh,
cold.
yeah." So one weekend she went back to get her like winter clothes, and by the time she came back, it like the summer turned. It turned into
Of
summer
course.
weather, and
Right.
she's like, "Oh, we're okay now." But yeah, so
Yeah, it was quite cold.
yeah, yeah, those preseasons. But
Yeah, Don, as we're looking at pictures of people, I mean, it's summertime, but everybody's wearing jackets and nobody's walking around with tank tops and shorts.
Now it still got chilly at night. It still
Yeah.
always got a little chilly at night. You had to put a
yeah,
sweatshirt on.
Yeah. I don't remember it being cold, but
well, Cathy was prepared for that. She had a base for knowing,
yeah.
going up
That's true.
Cedarhurst. Yeah, it was not foreign to her, but
Yeah, I've been
Well,
going that way for
Cathy,
years.
you question 4, have you read Don's book? Did you know he wrote a book?
I did actually. I read his first book too, that about the
Really?
that
That's
blizzard.
awesome.
Yeah,
Okay,
that,
very
that that
cool.
was great. I'm a huge football fan, so I got a kick out of it hearing some of those names.
thank you for not showing up with a Tom Brady jersey.
You know, I almost did. I almost did.
Seriously? Oh,
That is so funny because I almost wore it. And I said
oh,
I won't do it to him just because
It would have been okay.
because your bills still don't have it. They still don't got it.
Yeah.
little does.
I
That's
figure
too
the
funny.
wound is still fresh.
So is Tom your brother Tom a big Boston sports fan too? Like,
No, so the reason I became so growing up in
yeah,
New York, grew up in New York sports, but when I moved to Massachusetts and I married someone from there, my son was born there. It's a whole different sports is just very different because growing up in the city, so part of Long Island I'm from is right outside the city. You always had two teams. You had the Jets, you had the Giants, you had the Mets, you had the Yankees, a lot of competition. You go up to Massachusetts, you had one whole area of the country rooting for these teams. Like you'd be at Red Sox games, it'd be
right.
Stephen King in the fans, people coming all the way from Maine. You were go to Patriots games, and when I first moved there, they were terrible. I mean, you had the old Schaefer Stadium that was a dump. People would drive hours away just to go to see these teams, and I was just in awe over the fan base. Like, who could not become a fan? And it this was a lot of fun, but I have to tell you what a true fan that I've been is that we moved to Florida here in 2001, and that's when both teams, Red Sox and Patriots, started winning everything. So I just
Yeah,
didn't
tell me
jump
about
on the
it.
bandwagon. Like I was up there in Massachusetts going to these games every week or whatever when they were like in last place and fourth place, but it was just it was just so much fun to be a fan. It's still a very sensitive subject with Tom, though. I'm not a Yankees fan. I became a Red Sox fan. I did the unthinkable,
Yeah.
so it's still very touchy and I can't bring that up. But no,
We
Tom's a
had a good reason
diehard.
for it.
Yeah,
That's a very well thought out reason for being a fan of.
Yeah,
I
it is.
grudgingly admit that. His,
right, right. I
yeah,
mean, you got to have a good reason, or else you can get eaten alive.
exactly. So Tom is
Is
what?
diehard Yankees and Giants. Yeah,
All
no,
right.
he's all about New York. Yeah,
Okay. All right.
Where's he live now?
Tom's in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Okay.
Yeah, he
Obviously,
comes down here a lot though because he has my niece, his daughter lives in South Florida, so I see him quite often.
Okay.
oh, good. Do you? That's great to hear.
Yeah,
I would
yep,
love
yep.
to connect with him, here or anywhere. Just, yeah, well, naturally, we'd love to talk with him the way we're talking to you. And I have a little video of him too from him and Jay Briggs at the Fieldhouse Cabins. And
Oh,
yeah. So,
I'm sure that's good.
yeah.
yeah.
I was going
Him
to
and
ask
Jay.
you, Kathy, because there's a couple of us that have worked at camp off season. So I think what you're saying is you did also work off season at camp, maybe when you first started.
I worked probably about a good 6 or 7 winter times there and
Oh,
two
wow.
preseason. Yeah, I worked gosh, probably 84, I think was my first winter. And I think I must have worked there up until like 1990, probably 90, 91. Yeah. Because when I was in college too, I'd be there like the whole month of December and January. So people would come up for a lot of retreats on the weekends and everything. So I
Yeah.
think at the time, Don, it was Julie wasn't there anymore. So it was Brenda.
Brenda Kukin. Well,
Yeah,
she
Brenda
became
Cucan
Brenda
now. I don't
Kukin.
remember her
Yeah.
maiden name before, but she I worked with her
Yep.
also.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh. Great. Yeah. Great call.
Okay.
yeah, yeah. So I spent a lot of time at camp, and just a lot of time. I remember going to your house. A lot of time we hang out
Yep.
at nighttime.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot
You
of time with
wrote,
Tracy.
there was a time where during one of the New Year's Eves, Tom, I sent you a picture today of
You did.
Tom Weisberg.
Oh,
Tom,
you did. Oh, I didn't bring that. I can get that on here.
that's
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, if you find it,
Yeah.
it's one of the New Year's Eves where we were all working, and Cathy is not in it, but Tom is. And it's funny because I had a conversation with my cousin Doug Schoen um, at the Malone funeral actually a couple weeks ago. And it was interesting because he said that for all of the great summers that he's had at camp, it was the times that he came up in the winter that he remembers the most. Like they were the most, they were special. And I was thinking about it today because I'm thinking about talking to you, Cathy. Like, why would that be? And I think during summers, if you figure we had 150, 175 staff members. Like you almost felt during the summer where I there's no way I could possibly, spend quality time with all of these people during the summer. They're all doing their own jobs and everything. But when we came up in the winter, there was a group of 12, 15, 20 maybe at the most, and you knew that was the group you're going to be with. And yeah, for a few days, it was just a really good catch up.
Yeah, it was. I think I have to agree with Dougie. I think the winter times were probably my favorite too. In
Huh,
fact, I was talking to Tracy not too long ago.
nice.
And we were talking about that too, about how her favorite times up there were the winter times. And I have to agree with what you're saying too. I think we were just like a closer group. And we knew who was going to be there in the winter. And we all looked forward to seeing each other. And it was just, we just like hung out. You were more like friends. It wasn't just because, in the summertime, you saw someone, hey, how you doing? And that was about it. But this time we'd actually sit there, have conversations, hang out together, do stuff together.
Yeah,
It was just different. It was just, I think it's even hard to explain.
yeah. Tom, I would say you were there for a postseason, but the way I could equate it the best was it was like preseason at camp.
Just like preseason. It was just like
Yeah.
preseason. You got to know everybody.
Right.
You know, it wasn't just, hey, how you doing? It was, you really got to know them.
Colder.
Yeah.
And you remember, because I remember a couple of times playing volleyball in the gym in the wintertime. It was so cold.
Yeah, really, really cold. Yeah, there was no heat.
I actually dislocated my thumb during one of those
Oh,
games.
how'd you get that
Yes.
back into place?
Well, I popped it back into place myself. And then,
Well, you're a
yes,
nurse, so you knew.
nurse. And then I remember going to our drive to the hospital, and it still isn't healed right to this day.
No way. Jeez.
Yeah, it still
Right.
sticks out a little. And I remember the
Right.
doctor being like, "What were you doing?" I'm like, "Yeah, we were playing volleyball."
All right. Are you going on record saying there's a workers' comp claim coming against camp now that they should be, or maybe the statute of limitations is over? Or...
Oh, I'll have to look into that, actually. Thanks for the tip.